messages and stuff to it. And we have a bunch of pre-existing messages that all tell the device to do something. And you said you were playing around with it, so you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
We did set up some pre-existing commands and saved them in the site. So that's why some devices, so like if you go to some accounts, they'll have that information, and then some won't.
Yeah. I noticed that some of the customers that I open, especially if it's track port, I don't see that command.
Exactly. It also depends on the device. Track ports specifically had to be set up. They only respond to one phone number. One phone number is the master number. Now, we use Google Voice for track ports, but the new versions that just came out in the past week, they have a different master number. Because Google Voice is a free account, but there's a limit to how many times you can send things to and from it, and we would randomly get locked out. So we wouldn't be able to change anything for like 24 hours. So that wasn't really good. So as long as there's a number here, which we just copy-paste in here from the master doc, and the IMEI in here, you should be able to go over here to send messages. And this is, I believe, the Nano 3 account. So this is how to send a real-time command, 1-minute tracking, 2-minute tracking. Now, setting the APN on the device is something that Eric usually does here manually in a program. He plugs the device in via mini USB. And all that does is these devices communicate on their own as long as there's a SIM card in it, but they need to know where to send the data, which is our server. So it's basically like the address for our server in Florida. So when we say we're setting the APN, sometimes the device will have that wiped, and we'll need to resend it because it'll be sending data, but we don't know where the hell the data is going. So this is to let the data know that it's coming to our servers. So when we need to do that, we use T-Mobile, which is our carrier. Some of them we were using AT&T, so we pre-saved that one in here. For the international one, it's a separate address, so this is the one for that. And for every country, they have their own little address that has to be sent to and from. For the ones that use our SIM cards, this is this one. For Canada, this is theirs, but it's actually different for every country that's not on that list. You know, the country carrier list doc that we have?
Yeah. Yep.
One of the countries isn't on that list. We have to set it manually. What that means is these are pre-existing ones that we put in here. This is the actual messages that are being sent. Do you see both screens or just one screen?
I see. Oh, I just only see one.
Okay, so then I need to drag the other one over here.
Actually, you can share both of the screens. Anyway, okay.
Do that show line. Oh, you're right.
Right.
Are you gonna be able to see that? Okay, then I'll put this one back over here.
Okay. Yes.
You see both?
I am. Yes.
Did it just make both of them like really tiny?
Oh, well, I maximized the screen, so.
Okay, that's good. All right, so I need to move this out of the way. Okay, so this is what the messages actually look like, and they could be sent from any phone. Like if you were to type this into your personal cell phone and then send it to the number, the phone would get it. So basically, there are messages that we don't have saved in the site, like for the track ports specifically, because everything that comes from the platform here comes from this company, which is basically like free messaging. So it's a really ugly interface. I already have the password saved in here, but it's here in this document here.
Okay.
So if I were to basically just copy-paste any of these messages that show up here, I just copy-paste them, send a text message, put any number I want. I can put my own personal message in here, put that in there, and send it. Just ignore that. And I'll pull my phone out of my pocket. You know, if I get it, it'll get that jumbled mess.
Oh, okay.
It's got a bit of a delay on it. So basically, yep, I just got it, and it's a bunch of gibberish from this phone number. I will just put it down. This is technically that number. Come on, show the whole fucking number. 720-924-7477. This only works domestically, I believe. I think it works for some countries. I don't have a list. But feel free if you want to log into the site and just send a message to your phone right now to see how it works. Go for it.
Okay.
This lets you know it went through. If it's like a bad number, I guess I can just put like a 0 in there. It gives you a different bad request. So it'll let you know if it's a real number or not, like if you have a typo.
Okay.
So
go ahead and send me a message now.
What's your number?
So country code is 63, and then 905 218 2296.
I'll just copy paste that and make sure it actually works. And you want some GPS messages? Oh, no, I'm an idiot. I put it in the wrong place. All right, so this is the from and the to. The from automatically populates. I'm just an idiot and put your number in the wrong place, which is why I copy pasted it. I don't think you liked it. It doesn't send to every country. I have a feeling that the Philippines is one of those countries, saying it's not a valid phone number. Okay. So basically, this is what we do this way, but this only works if this number is correct, which is why sometimes we'll ask you guys to confirm the SIM card number, because sometimes it'll be wrong in our database. If this is wrong or if there's nothing here, this won't show up. Or you can just completely ignore all that and just log into here and send them. Now, the reason that I tell you about this the long way is we go back to this side. Every number has its own set of commands. The only ones that we put in here are for the nano and the HTTs. So we've got this doc over here. These even ones for the EON. This is how to set the APN. You just replace that with the IMEI of the device and then send that out. And most of the things will give you a response back. Now, you ever used Google Voice before?
No, never. But I think Kimchi logged in before when he was here, and he actually kind of showed us how.
Okay. All right. Where did I put the password for that? I just forget. You can only use this Google Voice password that I'm going to give you by, where the heck is the password? There it is. Don't give this one to everybody until we find out another way around that. This is the number. Oh, let's erase that by accident. Okay. So it's basically like a free service. It's kind of crappy, but it's what we got used to.
Okay.
Where's the password? It's very simple. See how we all share this password? These are all the messages that are being sent to and from the device. Sometimes the devices will reply back. So we basically use this as an inbox to receive messages and commands back to it. Like when we used to send pings to the device, it wouldn't show up in the hardware messages. It would show
but it's up here.
Yeah, it would show up here. See if I can actually get this URL to work. Yeah, Google Maps is kind of a pain in the ass. Right. Yeah, sorry. It's very scatterbrained, and I'm very scatterbrained right now. So it's that's why I'm trying to slowly explain it to one person. I don't know if I can handle explaining this to 3 people because it doesn't always make sense.
Yeah.
So for this, really simple. You just type in a number. You type in whatever you want. This only works in the U.S. It'll send a message to whatever. Now, there's a limit to how many different numbers that you could send in a day, which is why we only use this. I just use that for that test, but it was why we only use this for old track ports. So let's say you have a track port that needs to be reset. We're going to go to this document. You can click on track port codes, or you can just scroll down.
Okay.
You know how sometimes the track port will just kind of freeze? It'll stop tracking in the middle of a highway?
Mm-hmm.
Just copy paste this, and the number to the track port, click send. Most of the time that works, not always. Which is why we always say, sometimes you just have to have the customer take the device off and on. Only really works if the device is online. If the device is in poor coverage, no power, obviously, still not going to work.
Right.
This is to confirm the APN, and what it'll do is it'll reply back in here.
So every command that we send here, it's going to reply back, or if we do receive a reply, it means it's successful. If we don't receive anything, that means it's not responding to the command.
Not even that. Not every device acknowledges a command, which is why we don't really use it a lot. And that's why we're kind of like, okay, have them drive around. Your best response would be to see if the device starts tracking. Not every device replies back. Like the reset commands, they don't reply back. The APNs, they don't reply back. The intervals, they don't reply back. Which is why we don't really need an inbox more. The only thing we really need the inbox for is the HCTs. If you have an HCT that you have a problem with, for the most part, we have this diagnostics command. And what it does is we'll text message, we'll just copy paste this, go into Twilio, and then send it to whatever number you want, and see how that number's in there. That will that tells it what number you want to reply or want it to reply back to. We have it here as replying back to this inbox. You could have it reply back to your own personal cell phone. But what it does is it will get back to you with let's see if I can find one. It'll give you this. And it'll be like good signal, or it'll be poor signal, or it'll say offline. And that way you'll know, okay, well, it looks like the device is in bad coverage.
Okay.
Or sometimes it just won't reply back at all, which usually means it's not getting power and it's in bad coverage, because you're still sending the command over the cellular network. Still needs the cell network to receive it and to send it back. So not getting one usually means, or sometimes I've sat here for 30 minutes waiting for one. So it's not really something you want to keep the customer on the phone for.
Right.
So the only thing that really does get back to you is the HTC devices, and it'll say offline, good signal, poor signal, GPRS, good, or it'll tell you like offline where the antenna's off, not on the network where it won't be connected to the satellite network, that kind of thing.
So this is only for HTC.
Yeah, you can send from Google Voice to track ports, but if you need to get something back, you can use this number.
Okay.
That's why we don't use it. See, 3 weeks ago, we don't really use this so much. We started moving on to Twilio because it's unlimited. We don't want to use this account if we can help it, because then we'll get a message one day saying you've used it too much and it won't let you in, and that's really bad because it's happened a couple of times.
Oh, okay. So basically, out of all the devices, only HCT would consistently give you a reply on the command.
Yeah, because basically this command right here is asking for it back.
Okay.
It's basically a request for diagnostics. This is how to set the APN. It's also kind of like a reset on it. This is how, if you want to, remember how we had the HCCs tracking on 1-minute intervals?
Yeah.
This is how to set it back to 10-second intervals. Each command means something. This is how to set it up to be an international APN, which this part's different every time.
Okay.
This is how to request it as a diagnostics. This is what a good message will look like. This is what a bad message will look like.
Okay.
Registered, no GPRS, good signal offline. So, and these are for the Spark 904s. How to set the APN, how to send the interval, a lot more options on this one. And you can even see it right here. CS 60 and 60, that's every 60 seconds. So this is telling the device to report every 60 seconds. 180 seconds is 3 minutes. So that's kind of what that means. 12 minutes or 24 hours. This is request for location, which is a ping. This is how to reboot the device, where it basically kind of forces it off and then back on. This is how to turn the device off. This is how, if the customer wants it to track all the time without motion, we don't really do it very often. We don't recommend to, because it uses your battery so much. But you can copy paste it, text message it to the device, you'll see the hardware messages, which is why the hardware messages are so important.
Mm-hmm.
These are the same commands for the HTC Micro. This is how to get the IMEI. This is how to reboot the device. This is if you want to ping it.
Okay.
So this is kind of why we didn't just throw all this information at you. It's not really clearly written out. It's basically a bunch of links and a lot of playing around with to get comfortable with it.
Yeah.
But let me see if I can come up with a situation. Okay. Remember those devices from Tracking the World that we were getting that weren't connecting to network?
Tracking the World, that's
yeah. Yeah,
LGP,
remember
right?
Yeah. Remember that a couple of weeks ago, more like 2-3 months ago, we had a bunch of devices that we were getting that just weren't connecting to network for some reason.
Yeah.
With all the new ones. This is what we were doing to fix them. It's basically 15 commands, which is basically setting the APN the long way, and you have to copy each one and then paste it in here and send it one at a time. You'd have to send that one, and then that one, and then that one, which is why it wasn't really a quick fix. It was really sitting here and pasting it in here, sending it, wait a second. Copy, pasting the next one, send it, wait a second. And you can't send them all at once. The device has to receive it one at a time.
Wow.
Which is why, when we got a bunch of them at the same time, it was taking a bit to fix them, because our guys would be on the phone here and still doing this, trying to not mix it up at the same time.
Right.
So this is for the old Nano. This is for the Nano 3s that if you're having a problem getting one of them on the network, and basically these are the IMEIs. This is with the end digits of the beginning of the IMEIs, so that you know which batch it's from. And then you would just copy paste that and send it one at a time. Or you can still tell us to do it. Luis rigged a program here on our end that sets it up so that it automatically did it. Let me see if I still have that. Where did you go? Where did all
I can just imagine the work that you do there. Master multitaskers, huh?
Yeah, you have to be. It's kind of ridiculous. Here, Luis had set it up so that by just putting a number in here, it will send the 15 one at a time, but it took him weeks to come up with this. Yeah, we kind of have to be very multitasky, which is why sometimes, because right now, right now we're kind of busy. Does seem to be lately. So, but yeah, that's why it takes us a while to get back to you guys, because we'll be on the phones. I'll be helping somebody else. I also try to do emails, because now that we've got the alarm.com stuff, we've had 2 people in queue, and we're very backed up on emails, and I had to stop doing call scores just to start getting some of this stuff out. But when we're helping you guys, we're also helping people at the same time. So it just kind of slows everything down a little bit. All right. Now, for your issues that you're having with the Nano 4s, we've found that sometimes sending a reboot command and pinging the device will try to sort it out. We don't know why it's happening. Where the new devices just kind of stop tracking.
Yeah.
But you could basically start by doing the normal troubleshooting, making sure it's on the network, and then you could try sending a reboot command or a ping command, which, request for location, same thing.
Okay.
And that will fix it most of the time. And this is also the same thing that happens when you go into the platform, or if you're looking at the customer and they've got the little ping button. This will do the same thing. It's basically that command is programmed into the site. I did this the wrong way, and that'll just take too long. It's going to try to load up every device. You still there? Hello? Hello? Did I break it? Are you still there? Hello? Hello?
I am
Hello?
back.
Yeah, I heard the ping. I'm like, what the heck is that? And I'm still talking. I'm like, wait, huh?
Yeah. Okay. So.
So do you have anybody there with a problem right now? I could try to send some messages real time so we can see what's going on.
I only have one person engaged in the call, so no.
Okay. So yeah, I know your two big problems were the Nano 3s that just kind of got off the network.
Yeah.
You could try sending the reboot command, and you could try sending the ping command and having them turn it off and on. If it's off the network, you're not really going to get too far anyway. It doesn't hurt to try. For the most part, it doesn't really do anything if it's offline. But yeah, you can basically just copy paste, pop it here, and then type out the number and send it. And then the big deal would be just checking the hardware messages to see if you've got a reply or not.
Okay.
See if try it out for the rest of the day. Like if you've got a rep with a problem, see if it works. If you have any other problems with it, let me know. And as I come up with more stuff, I will let you know.
Okay, perfect.
All right. Did I throw too much at you?
It's okay. I mean, it's going to take time for me to,
yeah.
But I have this recording anyway.
Okay. I mean, it's confusing. I don't deny that it's confusing. But the good thing is, for the most part, if you send a command to a device, you should see it in, like, the hardware messages.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can get like, if you get a device, you get somebody who wants, like, an interval change, you could try to do it this hard way by just copy-pasting it manually and sending it. And then you should see that, I don't know why this is taking so long. You should see that if it hits the device in the hardware messages.
I actually wanted to see how it looks like in the hardware messages.
Do you
have? Is it going to be the same as the?
No, it's going to kind of look more like a jumbled mess.
Actually, you can go ahead and try to play around with the nanos that we have here. Maybe it will work, but it's international APN.
Yeah, that actually, the international stuff right now, you're still going to have to get those over us. You want to know the worst part? We're doing those manually on a cell phone, like pushing all this crap in one at a time on a tiny phone keyboard.
Oh.
Which is, the international stuff's still a pain in the butt. Let me see if I can find somebody whose device is in it. All right. You still see both screens?
Yes.
All right. I hate when people do this when they don't give us all the information. No, I do that the hard way. Let's see if I can find this guy's account. Get me a phone number. You guys having any lag with the site? So it's just my computer sucking. Okay.
Anyone for break, guys?
All right. So this guy says his device isn't tracking. Hasn't since 23rd. So last Saturday. All right. So I'm going to try to log in as him just to see. Still there?
Yes.
So maybe he hasn't changed it from the default. Okay. Okay, so
It's a good track for today.
Yeah, this happens a lot. Sometimes he just drives into a bad coverage area. All right, so looks like it just started today. I bet you his battery died. Yeah, his battery died.
Yeah.
And that's the story of my day. Let me see if I can find another issue. Something that just was not international. Oh, come on. You tell me I have fun. Another battery. See if there's somebody on the phone who needs who's got a device that isn't tracking after doing normal troubleshooting. Oh, wait. Wait. Kristen? Well, what do you need? Yeah, I'm just trying to show Leia about sending the commands through Twilio. No. Do not need it international. What do you need, a reboot set? Yeah, give me the customer ID and the phone number. All right, Kristen said she's got one, so I can show you what it looks like. Hip chat me the IMEI 2. No, I thought. So, customer ID, IMEI, and phone number, and Dr. Who. Okay. So, what's this guy? Do you stop tracking in the middle of the highway? It just hasn't been online? So it's an N03. All right, well, I'm going to take the lazy way out. Okay. So here's his phone number. Just going to pop that in there. It's an N03. Reboot. Paste that in there. And then send. Created. Successful. I send a reboot. And then we're going to look for it in the hardware messages. Is he connected on Reiko? Was? Are we sure it's on? Hardware messages. Yeah. I don't think that phone number's right either. Did you get the guy to confirm the SIM for you? Why don't you think that number's right? Give me the SIM card number. Or I guess I could just not be lazy and get it my damn self. Don't mind me. Last reporting date. This device never reported. Was it deleted and re-added? That's right. Never easy.
Master, yeah.
This is why we ask you guys for the SIM card number and the cell number sometimes, because it'll be out of date.
But this file is updated, right? Because I was added here.
Well, see, remember, this phone number here, we had to copy-paste that in there. So if the phone number changed and somebody didn't correct it, or something happened, yeah, it's a different number that's in the doc, Kristen. Oh, come on. Kristen, are you in the group? I'll give you there's a different number in the group. I'll give it to you. Oh, yeah, I found it myself. After that, or maybe. I'll send the reboot again if you edit the group. Right. Okay.
So, Liv, basically what's on this file is the updated one, right?
Yeah, which means that we probably just reboot someone else's device. But this is the phone number that's going on in the dock right now. It's been active since June. Yeah, ending in 583. Repeat what you said. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I was just asking, the information on the master file is the one that's updated.
Yeah, unless somebody, sometimes it's human error. You updated the group? No, I'm telling ICE that sometimes that happens, which is why we always say confirm, because if we really want to be on the safe side, this is the SIM card number from the device, right?
And then go to the device details, view device.
Yeah. This is probably the best way to confirm, because this is what the system is showing it back to.
It's going to show you the history if the telephone number was tripped up. Okay.
583. So, yep. So that's the number. I'm going to see if Kristen updated it in the Google Doc. I mean, in platform. Did it. We can even see if this is connected at all. Where is the... Sometimes it's just better to check the SIM. So it started a session in June. Huh.
And nothing.
Yeah. Right. I would actually... This is one of those times where we'll be like, okay, you know, can you please ask them to turn it off, turn it back on, and then hit the panic button.
Mm-hmm.
To the 583 number? I remember I was saying, oh, we could send the 15 commands to it, like one at a time. And then Luis came up with the easy way to do it. I'm going to do it the easy way. Does this guy have it with him? Can you let him turn it off and on again? Just call him back. Just like, hey, can you turn it off and on again? We're still working on that. And this is one of those situations where we're probably going to be waiting a while. But that's pretty much what we would do if we have one of those devices and not being online.
Okay.
So try the reboot command. If that doesn't work, then try to send the 15. Make sure you have them turn it off and on again and hit the button. A lot of it is really just kind of guesswork, and that's why it can seem very, very time-consuming, especially since you guys are waiting for us in chat. But we're doing the same thing that I'm doing right now.
Oh.
A lot of us will just move on to the next customer and just keep searching it, which is why sometimes we allow repeat calls.
Gotcha.
Hopefully I didn't just confuse the hell out of you.
No. I can
You
still
can
follow.
say if you can say if I did.
I will, but I can still follow. Thanks.
All right. I'll keep an eye on this. But damn it, I wanted you to see what the response looked like.
So the worst case scenario, it doesn't work. That's when we would offer RMA if it's within warranty?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
and if
you
it's
want to
out
make
of
sure
warranty,
you cover your bases. Like if the guy sounds like they're lying about turning it off because you know how customers are impatient, you really have to stress it to them. A lot of people will just want an RMA even if it's not connecting, and it'll be something stupid like coverage, the usual stuff.
Yeah.
Like obviously if we're having like a lot of problems, we'll replace it, but I've seen a lot of replacements being done for things like coverage, and the customer spent the money and the time to get a new device, and they're having the same problem with the new device. Of course they're going to. It's the same coverage, the same problem, or there's no phone number on the SIM card, stupid things like that. Play around with it if you have a problem with that today.
Okay.
Try it. Let me know what the problems that you're having with. And then when you see the hardware messages, you know how they normally look. You'll see like the command in them. So you'll know that the system got it and recognized that a command was sent. I'm not getting any hardware messages from this one still, Kristen. It's disconnected, but it looks like it had the session hadn't been open since June. No. Yeah, he's going to need to turn it off and on. All right. Let me know if you have any questions or anything. Okay?
I will. Yes, thank you so much, Liv.
Go back to tackling these tickets, which I really don't want to.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Liv.
No problem. Bye.
Bye-bye.